So we have a whole bunch of new knives for this week, and the first one we're going to start off is my knife design with TKELL knives. Now, I was supposed to get the production version in a couple days ago, or by today, or by yesterday, I mean, but I did not, so I'm not going to get it for the next day or two, but the pre-orders have opened up for them. These are going to be finished very, very soon. You should have them in your hand by November 15th if you do pre-order, and that's what the pre-order's for, is basically so you can claim one to make sure you do get one. There's lots of variety. You can get it with the metal ring or without, and if you get it without, TKELL will send you an extra G10 karambit ring that you can add on at any time. I do prefer this one. It's much more compact. You can also get it double-edged if you want to. You just have to write it in the notes when you're finishing your purchase. Just write in the notes double-edged and he'll sharpen it for you on the spine. Or you can get single-edged, whatever you want. So it's 80 CR V2 steel, 100% USA made. The hardware is actually made out of the same thing they make firing pins out of for firearms. So really awesome, lots of color options you can choose from. And aside from this will come in only green or black, but as far as these go, you'll be able to get them in a lot of different color options. So super pumped about it. And like I said, the pre-orders are opened up on TKELL's website. So the Neeves Knives TKELL FLN is finally here and is happening extremely, extremely fast. Now, this is obviously a purpose-driven self-defense knife, and I am going to go into a lot more of those details as soon as I get the production version in hand. Because then it'll have a sharp edge. So stay tuned for that. This is a purpose-driven self-defense knife, and I am going to go into a lot more of those details and where the design came from and all that stuff as soon as I get those production versions. But pre-orders are open up right now if you want to make sure you get one. Next, I gave Tucson another chance, the Tucson TS349. Now, I go on Amazon sometimes and I will look for TWOSUNs that are in the United States. So instead of waiting 5 or 6 weeks, I only have to wait, 2 days. So that's what happened with this one. I seen it was in the States. It was going for a very affordable price. I was like, and it looks good. I loved the look of the micarta. Really good quality micarta. This is the type of micarta they should be using. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff. Nice titanium bolster lock, frame lock. And then it's got a spay point blade with really good geometry. Now the pocket clip works great. Back spacers, a titanium back spacer, and then it has a front flipping action. Internal stop pins. They're kind of internal and external, but it's hooked to the blade, which I always appreciate that because that helps with pivot stability. Because, when you push this way, it's hitting. You push this way, it's hitting. So that's really nice, so it adds a little bit more strength in the pivot. Now, as far as the front flipper goes, here's my issue. And this is kind of what I was talking about on why I've kind of backed off from Tucson a little bit. I like this. I like this a lot. It's very compact and it has a super comfortable grip, but you don't get any extra, right? It's a very, very comfortable grip. And I like that for those reasons. There's a lot of things to like about this. However, the detent is too strong for a front flipper. Yes, I can do it, but it's kind of annoying. Granted, it'll probably break in. If you really like a real crispy detent, you'll probably love this. I usually do like a crispy detent, but this one's just a little too crispy for this model. And I imagine it'll just get better and better. You can hear it. So I imagine it'll just get better and better, but it just, the jimping's nice and sharp. It does have a good front flipper. Maybe if it was a little bit taller, I wouldn't, the strong detent would be fine, but just the way it is, the detent it's just a bit too strong, which makes it to where there's so many great things, and then it's just that one little detail, that gets you. Beautiful sharpening choil, or sharpening notch, I should say. They put a little notch there. I'm not mad at that. They separated the plunge grind. Access to the lock bar is nice and comfortable and good. Complete fall shut action. Gorgeous looking knife. And like I said, man, if you don't mind a super crispy detent on a front flipper, you might just like this quite a bit. And I have a feeling that over time I'm going to like it more and more because the detent will break in. Next is actually from Petrified Fish. I'll write the name on the screen. They have numbers and stuff. It's like the 08 or something. But it is a button lock action knife with multiple forms of deployment. You have thumb studs and a flipper tab. Now, the blade is I think it's straight. Yeah, a straight clip point blade. Kind of a unique blade. Not that a clip point is unique, but just the way they did this, they kind of broadened it right there and then peaked it down, and I kind of like that. This thing's going to be fantastic at utility cuts. A really good slicer. You can turn it around and cut straps comfortably. So it's got quite a bit going for it, actually. The blade steel is K110, so basically D2. These do have a satin finish, and the detent on the flipping action is amazing. Fantastic detent. Nice crispy break. Yeah, I'm perfectly happy with that flipper, or with the detent. Now you also have the thumb studs. Now the thumb studs with the detent equally as good. Really good detent for the thumb studs. However, the thumb studs are a little tight to the scales, but you kind of get used to it really quick, and you know right where to put your finger, and it winds up becoming super snappy and quite satisfying. But right at first, when you first get it, you wish it had a chamfer. You kind of wish there was a chamfer around both edges, and I still kind of do. But like I said, once you kind of get it down, you realize the grip on the flipper or the thumb studs really allow you to get good purchase. G10 scales, this is obviously a multicolored G10, then a titanium milled pocket clip that works great. Super smooth in and out of the pocket, T8 hardware all the way around. The button lock is a plunge lock. And so far, this one is solid, and this one is solid. So for this one, I think I could tighten the pivot. That's, no, it's pretty good. Yeah, they're both super solid, and yeah, they're pretty cool. They're simple EDC knives, but they are button locks. The clip point blade is, some would say it's an aggressive look, which I personally like, but you know, some would say it's basic. So it just depends on you. But all in all, man, they did a good job on it. Fit, finish, tolerances, all that stuff, all that good stuff is good. Next, really quick, Two Bones Jones sent this to me. This is a cold steel non-metal knife. This is made out of basically FRN or plastic. It's a heavy duty plastic, so it is pokey. So it allows you to get through metal detectors. So it is a punch dagger, which, you know, even with plastic, this is going to be super aggressive, and this stuff is shock resistant, impact resistant, so it's going to be able to take a lot. You know, you could do some damage with this. The edges are sharp, but they're also not, because it's plastic, but it is still kind of sharp. This is a rubber, so the rubber grip, you really lock in. This thing has a lot of traction, lots of texture. Now there's all different kinds of these. They have blades, and some of them are trainers, but then other ones are not trainers. They're specifically for you to leave in places that are highly corrosive. So like say outside somewhere, you know, where you don't want whatever you're going to leave out there to rust or to get destroyed, and now you have something hidden out there that you can get to anytime. You can put them in places that, you know, might be wet, might be nasty. You can also, you know, obviously get through metal detectors and things like that. You can carry it without anybody knowing. So there's lots of reasons why you might get these, and also training purposes if you get the, you know, the ones that are blunt. But I'll leave as many as I can down in the description. Next is the KUNWU Padre. My goodness, I wish I could have checked this out so much earlier. It's kind of upsetting, to be honest, because they're not making them no more. They already discontinued them, which I think is just out. It's dumb, in my opinion. I think they should. I know they know what they're doing, and they're probably, you know, considering whoever wanted one got one, and now, you know, they'll you know, just move on to another design. Maybe they'll make more. I don't know. But I can say that I wanted to try this from the start. I actually talked to KUNWU. They said they were sending it to me, and then they never did. And this has happened twice now with 2 different models from them. I don't know what's going on. Regardless, though, I finally got one in hand, but now they're sold out. So now, you know, that's why, otherwise I'd have its own video on this because there's so much I'd like to say about it. It is really good. I like this a lot, like a lot. Vanax steel, full titanium, love the diamond pattern milling, Damascus pivot collars, titanium mill pocket clip and backspacer. The backspacer has really aggressive jimping and I love it. Access to the lock bar is great. Very smooth on the drop. The reverse flick and thumb flicker equally as good. And then this front flipper, it angles like this, but man, it works so good. Even the jimping is good on it. Normally I want the jimping to go up and around, but this is not that type of front flipper. This one you're definitely gonna be grabbing by the front. And yeah, man, they tune the detent perfectly. Listen to that thing. You can flip it and do it with every angle that you can do, you know, other front flippers with. So really fidgety. And then the ergonomics in my hand, this is damn near as good as it gets. It is so comfortable. I love everything about it. I love the blade shape. I love the grind. I love the action. I love the texture. But I love the steel. But, you know, me drooling over it doesn't really matter because 1, they're not for sale anymore, and 2, I can't link them, so you know, it just, I hate showing things on the channel that you guys can't get. Maybe they'll make more, I don't know. The next one is a knife I actually featured on the channel once before, but they were not in stock, so they were having troubles with getting them in stock. Now they have them in stock on the TEKTO site. So this is the TEKTO A5 Spry. And it's an S35VN, double-edged dagger. I believe there's other blade shapes for this body, but if you ever seen my skull video, I have a video on a ballistic skull where I tested the TEKTO Humvee, which is one of the most solid OTFs I have felt next to like a G&G Hawk. Like the solidness of the blade and everything was just, it was super solid. And I did do a bunch of stabbing with that thing into a ballistic skull that had bone and brain in it. So check that video out. But ever since that one from TEKTO, you know, I was very impressed. So this one, again, very good. Very similar build quality, an aluminum body, nice micro milling, offers really good texturing. The spring strength is really good. The trigger has good texturing on it. And like I said, the spring is nice and strong. You're not gonna misfire it or, you know, set it off in your pocket or anything. Nice strong spring, but it's also enough traction, and the trigger is good enough to where you could actually do it with pretty much any finger comfortably. Deep carry clip with a glass breaker that is reversible. You just flip it over to the other side. The glass breaker does have, I think, a ceramic ball. Yeah, I think it's a ceramic ball at the end. It might be metal, I'm not sure. But I have no doubt that that won't work, or that will work. As far as where they're made, they are assembled here in the USA, and they do have some USA parts, but they also have overseas parts. So they have overseas parts made, or parts made overseas, sent here, they're assembled and then tuned, and you know, they have other parts, you know, probably made here, and that's how they get the USA flag on there, is from that. And S35 is actually made in the USA too. But the point is that in order to say USA made, it has to be 51% made in the USA. So this is a half and half knife, you could say. But hey, these guys are, you know, they're at least doing something. They do have business here in the USA, and I can respect that. And the build quality is there. This is a knife that, you know, for the price, I feel the quality. So, you know, it just, they're doing a good job with their OTFs. This is something I've held a lot of OTFs, you know, Microtechs, all different price ranges, all the way up to thousands of dollar versions. So, you know, I know a good OTF when I feel one, and they're doing a good job. But work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.